Hi, my name's Leona from Supra Conscioussoul, and this is your Divine Masculine reading for roughly around the beginning of September, the first week of September. I'm going to try and get them out weekly if I can. So, the first card for the Divine Masculine is from the Rumi Oracle. He's got the card number 6. Now, this is an amazing image, and as soon as I saw it, I kind of gasped. So, it's called One. So what this means is that the Divine Masculine, instead of becoming two parts or instead of being in two parts, he's now becoming one thing. He's now becoming into one form, into union, into connection. Yeah, he's coming into one with himself internally. In some senses as well, it's like he's being guided by the light inside himself, yeah. And it's like when he was split in two, he was feeling a little bit like he was going through the darkness, but now we have the lightness here that is coming from inside in order to become one thing. So he also has the card of ego. Now this is card number 20. And it talks about duality as well, because if you break it down to two. So, but it's kind of, so how this story goes with this card is that there's two monks. Now they're walking. Now the older monk always walks ahead because it's a mark of leadership, or it's like a respect thing. So the older monk goes there and he goes to a river and he sees this beautiful woman by the river. Now she says to him, "Oh, could you help me across the river? Could you hold my hand and help me to cross the river?" Now, because she's a beautiful woman, he has to close his eyes. He's been taught to close his eyes upon seeing a beautiful woman. So he closes his eyes and walks into the water with the woman holding her hand. Now, the second monk says that the water's going to be too rough. So he says, maybe I should put you on my back here, or put you on my shoulders and carry you across the water. So he carries her across the water and puts the woman down. Now, several miles later, the two monks are walking, and the elder monk says to the younger monk, "I should report you because you did something that was against what we believe in." Yeah. So the younger monk replied that he'd left the woman at the bank. In his head, he replied that I'm clean because I've left the woman at the bank. I put her down, I placed her there, and I've left her. If anything, you may need to look at the fact why you're still holding some resentment towards that fact. Yeah, and he's like, and it says that you can't kind of squash ego, you can't squash jealousy, you can't squash envy, but what you can do is acknowledge it and just kind of let it go. And in doing so, that is where the lightness is going to come in for the Divine Masculine. That is where that connection's going to come in, where he realizes that parts of himself are split. Parts of himself are, he wants this, but yet he wants this. So in some senses, it's saying as well that he may have been following his ego. Yeah, and now he's kind of coming to some sort of terms with that part of himself, or he's needing to kind of acknowledge it so that he can move forward and let it go, or leave it by the bank. Yeah. So he's also got the card of believe. Now this says the force that works through your soul, determining what's possible or impossible, the difference between success over failure, and above all who you are, is the power of your belief. Yeah, so he's needing to hold that belief inside himself. He's needing, because it's like that, as above so below, as within so without. So he's also being asked to stay connected here. It says we are all connected to spirit, often known as the divine source, yet many of us have a tendency to pull away from that connection as we journey through life in the physical world. Now is an important time to reconnect to the source. So he's being asked to connect and to believe and connect to that power within, as opposed to that external energy of the ego or greed or jealousy or any of those things. And that is where his oneness is going to come in. I will read a little extract from the Rumi before the end of the reading. So his first card coming into the reading is the Knave of Wands. Now, this is talking about him facing this adventure, facing part of himself. But it's also very much a card of the lover who kind of comes in, conquers, and then runs out. And he's kind of egoically standing here, kind of saying, look what I've done, look what I've done. It's a fire energy, and it's talking about a little bit of arrogance, possibly. It's not an energy that stays. So that's where his old focus has been. It's been on this conquering, on this kind of love 'em and leave 'em energy in some senses. So what that's created for the Divine Masculine is the Five of Cups. Now, in this deck, all of the cups have been spilt. Yeah, and he's having to face his demons now. He's having to face all of the things that have been spilled, all of that emotion that's been lost, yeah? And now, in a sense, you could see that as his ego, as him fighting his ego, emotions, or fighting a part of himself that wants to make certain choices, but then other parts of himself are like, no, because he is distracted here. We do have the Three of Cups. This is normally like a third-party interference, and in this sense, it's that he's got interference by things that are in his head. He's very much in his own world, or he has been coming through from August. Now into September, he's having to open up and look at his choices more. So he's very distracted, yeah? He's feeling like he's got enough here, or he's not even focused on what he has here at this moment. He's distracted by something. He's distracted by this energy that he's having to fight here, yeah? Now, that is a direct result of that ego, that kind of aggressive, kind of conquer or be conquered energy. So the issue is the Eight of Swords. Like I said, he has demons. He has these things where he feels like he's trapped by something, or he's feeling like he needs to trap this demon or trap this ego or trap this part of himself. But awareness is the key. Now, he is now gone to the Ten of Swords, which means that the universe is asking him to surrender, in a sense, to surrender his ego, to surrender to the divine, to have that belief, to have that faith, to connect back to the divine and not be led by the things in the material world, or the things that are kind of distracting him or have been distracting him. Yeah, he's being asked to let go, or kind of be overrun by this anxiety, be overrun by these 10 swords. He could be feeling a little bit betrayed in some senses, or he could be feeling a little bit trapped by his circumstances. However, I feel with this card that he has created that in some sense, yeah? And now the universe is calling for him to just stop with the Ten of Swords, to just surrender, to just breathe, to just take a moment, yeah? I do feel like he has divine help coming, because we do have the Three of Pentacles here. We have this warrior energy coming, and it's also, it could be that somebody is, it's wanting to grow more stability, yeah? He does want to grow more stability. What he is getting distracted by is the Fool. So he could be acting a little bit foolish at times. He could be acting a little bit reckless. Now, this Three of Pentacles energy is coming into ground. It's coming into add more support. It's coming in to add more structure, to add more earth energy, because this energy here with the Fool is very unexpected. It's Uranus. It's unexpected movements. This is more steady growth. This is people supporting each other, working together towards a cause, yeah? Now, the Divine Masculine new focus. So he's come out of this knave now, which is a bit reckless and a bit impetuous. Now he's come out as the Knight of Wands. Yeah, now he's starting to realize that there's a goal to this, there's a focus for this. He's being reborn out of this kind of snake here as well. So that shows me that he's gaining wisdom now, he's gaining clarity. We have the Sun card. Yeah, he's also using his intuition. Yeah, he's using the hidden knowledge, he's using, but he's using it not in a way to kind of wreck himself. Yeah, he's using it in a way now to be more intuitive. Yeah, we also have the Eight of Wands, which talks about him moving forward spiritually. It talks about walking up that staircase, about expanding spiritually, about growth. Yeah, underneath the deck for the Divine Masculine, we have the Six of Wands. This talks about him reaching a peak in his energy. Yeah, him reaching a peak in, there's a victory for him coming if he can carry on with this race here. We do have this race energy. There's a celebration. There's people wanting to support him now. He's being seen for the king that he is. Yeah. We also have next to that the Empress. Yeah, now he's being reflected back in he has more new beginnings. This is more growth. This is new starts. This is more wisdom as well, because we also have the Owl here. But it's also leading him to something that is more divine, something that's more within his nature here. We also have the Queen of Pentacles underneath that, and that talks about abundance, that talks about grounding, that talks about support, fertility. Look at all this abundance of fruits that we have here. So I do feel like the Divine Masculine can work through this energy, very much so. I'm going to read some from the Rumi Oracle. Number 6. And number 6 is about love, harmony, creativity. It says, I have abolished duality from myself. I have seen the two worlds as one. One I seek, one I know, one I see, and one I call. Yeah, you look for me and what do you see? You. Am I playing games with you? Holding up a mirror for you to behold, God? Yes. There are games of love and of truth. Look for me and find yourself, for I am you and you are me, and together we are one, playing hide and seek in love's great playground. So it's the Divine Masculine finding the God within himself again, getting connected back to the connection. It says, if any part of you is struggling to surrender the conflict between the old and new, between what has been and what needs to be, between passion and duty, creativity and rationality, between this role or identity, then know this, even the conflict serves. Don't choose either one and believe it is the answer. Sometimes the sacrifice is not one or the other, but the idea that it can be only one or the other. At another level, a level of divine resolution, there is beyond the apparent polarity and conflict a third way, the rising up to where there is only one perfection taking place constantly. Open your heart, you'll find the bridge to understanding and trusting in that perfection there, where it has always been and always will be. Don't worry, all is happening exactly as it should. It said it brings you this particular guidance. There is a resolution and a perfect coming together of the elements within your life, and that may have seemed to dissipate or in conflict. Something you have been trying to integrate is so very nearly ready to click into place. Perform the sacred honouring ritual and stay with your process. Yeah, it's about balance. Coming together you seek is on the horizon, approaching you swiftly now. So as the Divine Masculine comes into balance within himself, as he starts to believe in the divine connection again, he comes into this oneness with God again, and that is where he starts to rise up and he starts to expand. And I feel like that's where the journey starts to get, where he gets his victory from. This is him stepping into his power as the Divine Masculine. So I really do hope this has helped. Take care. Stay blessed. Bye bye.